how did your Duke experience influence your decision to be an author?
A great question. I was actually an author before I got to Duke, where I published my first book as a senior in high school. So I've always been really interested in writing, but I was able to minor in creative writing, which helped me become a better writer and write the second and third book. And I've had professors who have been very willing to read my work and talk to me about different strategies for writing and things like that. So that would be how Duke has influenced my writing career.
That's great. I actually, I was an English major myself, and I remember as I was graduating, the big push was to create that creative writing minor. So I'm glad that, you know, it's doing something great. All right. The second question, are there any challenges you faced while writing this book? And if so, how did you overcome them on the way to publication? Maybe we can start with Deb.
Yeah, so I think the challenge of writing this book was that Sophie and I had both already written books, and we knew how very, very hard it was to write a book. And so we had, it reminded me a little bit of when my mom took me to get my ears pierced when I was a kid. And the first one was fine, but the second one hurt more because I knew what to expect. This book hurt more because we knew what to expect. So I think the anticipatory anxiety associated with the hard work of writing a book. I also think I know that it was new for both of us to co-author a book. So when we wrote Overcoming Overthinking, before we had written that, I had written 7 books on my own. Sophie had written 1 book on her own. And the thought of collaborating between 2 very headstrong, opinionated women felt like it could potentially be a challenge. And ultimately, it was a really, really easy collaboration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had noticed right before the event that the book actually has 2 different fonts. The different chapters are written either by Sophie or Deb, so they actually do have different fonts, which I thought was interesting. The third question, what do you hope readers will gain from your book?
I just want to add this one. Yeah, no, I just want to add something to the last question real quick, which is, I think the hardest part, no, that's okay. I think the hardest part about writing this book was that we knew we needed to get it out immediately. It wasn't like, oh, we can wait a year. Oh, we can wait a couple months. We knew that because of everything that was going on in the world, we knew that we needed to get this book out immediately, but we didn't know that COVID was going to happen, but we knew that the anxiety levels were rising and we didn't have time to take our time with this book. So we really needed to, obviously we didn't want to rush through it, but we needed to make sure that we didn't waste time and not give other people the opportunity to help them with their anxiety as well.
Great, thank you. And sorry, yeah, the question. So in terms of what do you hope readers will gain from your book?
I mean, I hope people gain tangible strategies. And I know we were talking before the call about this idea that you can say to yourself, oh, I need to do this and oh, I need to do that, but it's hard to actually do it. And so coming away from the book with a concrete strategy that you feel comfortable using is probably the most important thing that we could have people come away with.
And I would say from my perspective, normalizing mental illness, mental health challenges, in my mind, anything we can do to reduce the stigma so that we can increase the conversation, communication about it is really helpful. So one of the things when Sophie and I lead workshops, one of the things that we are really clear to share with people is that you can have mental illness as Sophie does, as I do, and also have great mental well-being as Sophie does and I do, right? And so you can have no mental illness and have terrible mental well-being. And so the more that we can get people talking about mental well-being and mental health, the more that it's a natural, normalized part of the conversation. And we feel really strongly about that.